because my lawyer told me
Tell
I
me if
needed
that
it.
turns off.
And the second thing is a thing indicating how you're going to pay for the tuition for the year. And I couldn't print all that up today for that. So I'm going to be emailing you or getting in touch with you at some point.
Get in your bed, please.
Go
Get
ahead.
in your
Come
bed,
on.
please.
Good boy.
Thank you.
Good boy. Okay. Okay.
Wait. Hold
Your
on, there's
turn.
stuff to pass out. Jeez Louise.
Your turn.
Did you even get the agenda?
It's right here, PT meeting, and I'm opening it up because I'm so good.
Well, I got this.
Thank you.
All right. So, today's the big meeting. We're going to go over everything. And the reason why we have this big meeting is because the feedback we've gotten in the past is that, if we had more time to plan, if we had known in advance, blah, blah, blah. So we're planning and doing it in advance. So here you go. So this might feel a little overwhelming because we're going over everything, every performance for the whole year that we know about. I'm going to give you 2 sheets. Actually, Carissa is going to give you 2 sheets. One is for conventions and one is for, I need 2 more, sorry. I didn't see one, so I need 2 more. One's for conventions and one's for major performances, so we'll go over those. All right, so first off, so the purpose of this is to go over the fact that every year we do conventions. Conventions are off-site master classes. So we go to other companies that have conventions and we participate in those. So every performance team student is required to participate in at least one convention. And I gave you a list of 4 approved conventions that they can go to. They range in price, so you don't pick the expensive one, you can pick the cheap one, doesn't matter.
Which, by the way, we were going to do, like that we were going to make the performance team fee higher and, just have it be included one fee, but there's so many different variables and so many different price points that we decided for this year we're going to try just letting you pick one, trusting that everybody's going to go to one. Last year, not everybody went to them, and we think it's important that everybody go to at least one per year. Go.
Thank you. Each student will also be required to do 2 master classes. So the master classes are when we bring professional teachers to the studio, like Dylan, who's walking around here somewhere. He's from New York.
Get some grape juice.
Oh, he went to get grape juice. So he came this year, and then we had a bunch of other people come as well. And each student is required to do 2 of those classes. So the girls will tell you that last year, most of our teachers taught 2 classes in one day. So they could come for those 2 classes on one day, and that could be their commitment, they could be done.
Or they could come to every single time we have a master class, which is also a wonderful thing.
And
It's here. You don't have to travel to Boston or New York to get that quality or caliber of teacher.
So those classes range from about $25 to $35 a class, give or take. So those are their performance requirements that are mandatory. As far as other local performances, it really depends on what people want us to do. I can tell you our first official performance is at the North Andover Merchants Association Fall Festival. It is on Saturday, September 22nd, and it will be for the prep and petite teams only. They've already learned part of their dance, so they know what they're doing. They will be wearing their uniform, which we'll go over in a minute. And that's their first performance. That's all we know of right now. Besides the Santa Parade, we do the North Andover and the Andover Santa Parade.
That's the weekend of Thanksgiving. It's Saturday and Sunday of Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. So they are required to do both of those unless you have a really, really, really good excuse.
Like you're going to be in California for Thanksgiving.
Correct. And if it's, I'm spending time with my family, that's not going to do really well with us because all of us are spending time with our families. I'm kind of sick of my family by Sunday, to be honest with you. So I'm ready to go. But anyway, so I sent around a survey to everybody, all of our returning students. I appreciate all of you that filled it out because I actually did read all of your comments, believe it or not. And some of the things, I just want to go over some of the feedback that we got. So one of the things was that almost everybody put that they thought the team was too big and they wish that it was smaller. So I'm addressing mostly the kids because this is the feedback I've gotten mostly from the students. I'm sure some parents think this, but I will never limit the size of our overall performance team for a couple reasons. One, that's just bad business to not let people join our team, so I'm not going to do that. And 2, I would never tell someone that they're not allowed to have this opportunity just because I think the team is too big. especially if they meet the qualifications and are gonna benefit our team. That being said, I do understand that as our team grows, we need to make changes. So this year, one of the changes is we will not be doing as many group numbers. The age range is just too big this year. We have
Can't fit them on the stage.
can't fit them on the stage. We have 9 to 18-year-olds. That's a big difference. So we will not be, like last year, the opening number, everyone danced together the entire time. Not going to be like that this year.
We haven't planned the opening number yet, so we don't know, but we're just saying that some of the changes that are gonna have to happen as the team grows is that it isn't a given that the whole performance team will do the opening number.
Okay, that's not where I was going with that, but okay. My point is that even though the team is growing, I'm trying to keep each individual team still small. Our petite team is the largest. Right now it has 15. I think originally we had 17 signed up, and now we have 15. So that's as big as that team will get. And then our other teams are smaller than that. So in my opinion, I don't think it's too large to have 15 kids on the team. That would be my opinion. If down the road we get 20 more kids and we need to add another team, I'll add another team. But I don't see the reasoning behind limiting the size of our team. If we have someone from another studio that comes in and I think they're going to fit in great with you guys and make our team even better than it was before, I'm not going to say, sorry, we're full, you can't do it. We're not that type of studio. That's just not what we do. Everyone must stop. So, we're also eliminating almost all Saturday rehearsals. The reason being that since we're not doing as many group dances, we don't really need as many Saturday rehearsals. I'm not saying all, because there is an option, what's the word?
Chief is confident.
So I'm not saying all of them because there is a chance at some point that we'll need to have one. But those of you that are on the team last year will tell you that it was like almost every Saturday that we were doing. And it's not going to be like that this year.
But having said that, if we have an upcoming performance and we need a Saturday rehearsal,
So that's why it's still on the
we can
schedule.
do it, that's when it's gonna be, but we're gonna try to stay away from it.
You guys should be happy about that.
Is that yay?
No? No yays? Because we can bring them back if you want. Okay. Some of the other feedback I got about the uniforms, I can't change everything that you guys want to be changed in the uniforms because your parents would kill you because they would have to buy you new things every single year. Some people wanted a new leotard. I know we've had the same leotard for like 3 years, but I'm not going to change it this year because I couldn't find anything that I liked, to be honest. And everything that I did like was like $35, and we're not spending that much money on a leotard that we were underneath things. So I'm sorry, we're keeping the same leotard. But a lot of people said that they wanted more color. I get that because we are all black. So our burnouts this year are light pink instead of black. And I know some of you are not too happy that you have to buy a new burnout, but that was the cheapest option in the whole uniform to change. So if you already have the uniform, all you have to get is a burnout.
And other dancing schools, every year they have to buy a whole new $150 warm-up. So we're trying to keep it with basics, which is why we have a lot of black stuff, because they get to wear it a lot of different times, because it's basic.
But we'll go into sizing and all that in a minute.
Glitter.
Game day glitter.
Oh, I'm putting it right now. I got the lip balm on now.
Thank you. Okay, communication. So, if you have Facebook, the best way to get in touch with the entire team is on our private Facebook page. So if you're not already a member, go to your Facebook and type in CPA Performance Team, and you'll have to request to join. That's me, and I will let you join. It's completely private. The only people that can see it are in this room. And when someone leaves the team, we take them off of the performance team group. So we communicate everything on there from rehearsals to performance videos, rehearsal videos, reminders, and everything is on there. Like, that's where we go. We do have some families that don't have Facebook, so I know that. So we also have a private page on our website. If you go to our website, it says performance team, and it says current members, log in. Right now, the password is the same as last year. It's PT 2011, but we're going to change it.
And we're gonna change it to something that's not as easy to figure out,
It's
because
PT 2012.
we have a few team members that left this year.
Well, not that we really have anything really.
No, it's not
Private.
anything, but that's a privilege. to be
Right now,
able
there's
to-
not a lot on it, so. So, is there anybody in here that won't be able to communicate by either the Facebook page or the website? Oh, and you'll get tons of emails from me,
Alright.
so just get used to that.
So everything will be on both of those things.
Yeah.
Facebook first, because Facebook I can update from my phone. So if I'm out, I can update it real quick. Whereas I have to go to my computer to update the website. So Facebook, and you can set it up so that you get alerts. Like I know a lot of the older kids get alerts, so that if they're like at school and going to lunch, they'll have an alert on their phone that says like Megan posted in CPA performance team, bring your Converse sneakers tonight. And they're like, oh yeah, I gotta bring my Converse sneakers. So I'm sure that probably annoys them. That's it. Something for my
Can I
students.
interject for a
Yeah.
minute? Any parent that's not on Facebook and like say, I hate Facebook, I don't wanna do Facebook, you can go on Facebook and like just become just go to our team. So, you know, you can just go on Facebook and it doesn't mean you have to friend anybody or have any friends, right? You could just be a
You
Facebook.
still have to register.
You have to register, but like you don't have to partake in Facebook, you could still
And I'm
just-
not encouraging the kids to, if you don't want your kids to be on Facebook, I'm totally fine with that. But parents should, like if you have Facebook, it's much easier for us. So this is now towards the students. We have a new policy this year that students are not allowed to text any teachers at the studio. It's gotten out of hand. It's gotten out of hand and we haven't had any problems, but it's natural that as our team grows and more people get cell phone numbers and it's just not a good idea. So also we're telling the teachers this as well, you guys shouldn't be Facebook friends with any of your teachers as well. And I'm telling Alicia, don't worry.
And I don't mind, because like, I don't, but like.
She's the exception because she is friends with everybody, so.
But I also don't like post myself like, you know, hanging from a pole at a bachelorette party. I don't do that. Well, I mean, no, I'm just saying in general, like my teachers.
I've seen that actually.
But my teachers are young, you know what I mean? They're young girls that are gonna be doing things that the kids necessarily don't need to know about.
So some of the exceptions, the babysitting group, if you're part of the babysitting group, which we'll go over under fundraisers, I obviously need your cell phone numbers because I need to give them to the parents. So if you're in the babysitting group, and also some of the parents I know have our cell phone numbers, but it's usually because of a specific event. Like when we went to
Traveling.
Disney World, we all had to have each other's cell phone numbers. Stuff like that is fine. It's just like I had a parent last year who I'd be at work and she would text me like a novel of things that were wrong, and I'm just like, I can't deal with this right now. So like, just be appropriate.
Also, when we ran into this, Megan does some private classes for wedding classes, and Katie does some private classes, and there was some scheduling conflicts because Katie was booking private classes, and Megan, you know, and I had rented out the studio, and Megan goes, "You didn't tell me you rented out the studio." I'm like, "Didn't think I had to."
So
It's
that's
my
why all
studio.
communication.
You know, but stuff like that, all communications need to come through the studio, Jane@cpadance.com, or Megan, you know, between the two of us, we're just gonna be the ones that form the schedule. And before it was just kind of loosey-goosey, it was fine, but now as we're growing and we're doing different things, we're going to, just try to, it's easier.
So next, I just want to make a quick little note about markups, like as in markups and price. It's something that we don't really talk about because we don't really mark up anything. Like when we first started, we never marked up anything, which is why we made no money for like 7 years.
And Debbie will want to say, "You didn't make any money on that
And we're
thing?"
like, no, it costs $4.99. I charge $4.99.
But anyway, go ahead.
So if we ever mark anything up, it's to cover sales tax, shipping. Like every time we get our burnouts, they charge us a shipping fee because it comes from California. So like stuff like that. And we also realized that this team that started with 6 members now has 42. And it takes a lot of work to manage this, and we didn't really realize that. You know,
Sometimes we can do it, but even so, like if I have to have Joyce or somebody at the desk,
we have to
I'm
like
paying
pay
them.
them. to do
so
it.
I realize that we have to upcharge a little bit. But
We're
sometimes
talking
people see things on retail, they see it like on Discount Dance and they can get it for whatever.
$2 cheaper.
But then we're putting the logo on, we're going, so sometimes there's some upcharges. As far as our performance fees, like,
They're upcharged like $3. So it's not
if
like
it's
a lot.
like $197, we might round it up to $200.
So it's nothing. I just want to be upfront with it because I feel like some studios are kind of sneaky about it, and then you find out that like the shoes that you paid $97 for were like $20. and
Or the Celtics
Oh, yeah,
tickets.
the Celtics tickets.
the Celtics tickets were like 24.
30 extra.
Yeah. So like we're not gonna do that. It's literally like a couple dollars, but I'm just being upfront. Said if you were to see prices somewhere else, you're like, oh, okay, that's what.
Most of the time with my Celtics tickets, I charge like 97 or whatever it is, and it says on the ticket 105.
Yeah,
And they give me a discount, and I just charge you what it is.
it was Just Dance, and they all had to pay